Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to talk about my games to be played list. So this is both games that are backlist that I have not played yet for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, because I'm a PlayStation user, but also games that are coming out soon that I'm excited about. So I'm going to start with backlisted PS3 games. Currently, I only own a PS3. I'm actually not playing any games at all right now because I don't own a TV, and I'm devoting a lot of time to just reading, and I'm not going to buy a TV until I can't handle it anymore and I need to play video games. Because that's my main motivation for having a TV. If I really wanted to watch TV shows or movies, I would just watch them on Netflix on my computer. I'm not really caring about that right now. I know that buying a TV will be when like I can't stand it anymore, I just need to play video games for a little while. Which will probably happen over the winter sometime. So I'm going to start with some PS3 games that I am going to go back and experience because I've never played them before. The first game is Life is Strange, which I'm kind of surprised I never played before, but also my anxiety used to be worse than it is now. It's controls medication very well, so I think before it would have made me a little bit anxious because it has that like eerie vibe to it, but I have heard amazing things about this game. I'm going to say that about a lot of these games that I haven't played yet, but that have been out for some time. I've heard amazing things. Many people say I'm going to like it. Very character-driven story, and I'm excited to get to it. Another franchise that's been recommended to me a ton of times is the BioShock franchise, which is again a series that I never got into BioShock because the dudes with the underwater, like it seemed like a creepy game. Most people assure me that it's not actually creepy, that like those things are kind of creepy, but like it's not a horror game by any means. So I do want to play the whole franchise. I am most interested in BioShock Infinite and the aesthetics of that game and just everything with that, but I do think I'll want to play the whole franchise. If the first couple games are a little bit too clunky, I might just skip and go to Infinite, and I know that that's fine, and I can do that. But that's what I'm most excited about, but I do want to kind of play the whole franchise to get the whole experience. Then we had The Last of Us. This is a game that I do currently own, but again, never played, because zombie and horror games are not my thing. But since this is a story-driven game, a character-focused game, I think that I'll still enjoy it, but I'll probably play it mostly during the day with all the lights on, because it's still creepy zombies, and that is so not my thing. And the last game I'm excited about for PlayStation 3 that I have not played yet is Journey, and this is what I also currently own. It's just a nice, soothing game. I hear it's about like 10 to 12 hours tops, and it's all just very beautiful, and I've wanted to play it for some time, and just, I've never gotten around to it. These kind of nice, soothing games are games that I sort of forget about because it's like I want to play my intense games with all the emotions, but I do like these kind of like soothing, relaxing games from time to time. Then I'm going to talk about some PlayStation 4 games that I'm excited about, both some that have been released and some that have just been announced. So first off, I am hype when I get around to getting a PS4 again to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins. In case you guys are wondering, Gerald got the PS4 because he downloaded a lot of games on the PS4, so I was like, it's fine that you take the PS4, I'll take the PS3 because there's so many downloaded games that you buying a new PS4 and then transferring all the games would be a pain in the ass, where I just buy my own games outright. I buy physical copies of games, so it's like there's no reason to do all that. So I'm going to get my saved game data off of that PS4 once I eventually get my own PS4 again, but I'm not super worried about that. I'll be able to get my saved game data and everything, so no big deal. But anyway, right now I don't have a PS4, but when I do, I'm going to play Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey. I never got around to Origins when it came out because I was so busy with graduate school, and then Odyssey came out, which I was like so hype about, and I haven't gotten to play that either, obviously. So these are two, like, Assassin's Creed franchise is one of my favorite franchises. I am very excited about both of these games and both of these settings. I have wanted an Egypt and a Sparta game for Assassin's Creed forever. So the fact that these are the two that came out when I didn't have time to play or I didn't have access to the console anymore is like, oh, why? I also really want to play the new God of War. I've been hearing amazing things about that game and that it's very emotional and just very wonderful. And God of War was one of my original franchises that I started playing when I first got into PlayStation and had a PS2. So getting to play like the new and improved, more mature God of War is going to be really fun because it's, you know, like a new mythology, and it's like angry dad Kratos, and just like, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited about playing that game. Then we have Detroit Become Human, which is actually a game that I don't know a ton about, but I'm going into intentionally blind. Like, everyone says I'll love it, and that it's like, I think again, a very kind of character-focused game, and just something a little special, extra. So I'm excited for this. but I don't know a ton about it, and I'm kind of keeping myself blind intentionally because it does, like, the little bit that I do know about it seems like a game that I would really enjoy. Then we have some not yet released games, some that have official release dates and some that don't. So my current most anticipated game of all of the games, which doesn't have official release date, so it's not coming out in 2019 and some of these other ones are, is Cyberpunk 2077. This is from the creators of The Witcher 3, and this is gonna be a vast, wonderful, complex RPG that's in the cyberpunk world, and oh man, am I excited. When the new trailer came out, my mind is blown. I've watched it so many times. This is a game that won't disappoint me. I completely feel that CD Projekt Red, which is the production company behind this game, will not fuck it up. And so I'm just like patiently, not so patiently waiting, but I will wait until I need to wait for it. Like, I don't want them to rush through it. I know they're not going to rush through it, and I will be ready with open arms when it gets released, and I will probably request time off work at that time to be able to play for like a long weekend or something. Like, I'm ready. I am also really hype about Final Fantasy VII Remastered, like the whole, yeah. Final Fantasy VII was one of the first games that I did play on PlayStation, and oh man, I have lots of feelings about it. So the fact that it's gonna be all updated in current graphics, and I get to see all of my children in like their full splendor, and get to see Cloud with his Buster Sword, it's gonna be a moment, an experience. And I have been waiting since they did the whole like release trailer a couple of years ago, and like we still didn't get like an official thing, but I think it's officially coming out in 2019 now. I'm pretty sure. Whew. Classic brought back. If they remastered Mass Effect, that would be my favorite. But they probably never will because they're trash cans. But like, we also never thought that we'd really get a remaster of Final Fantasy VII, and here we are. Speaking of BioWare, I have a question mark next to this one, and that is Anthem. So this is the next BioWare release, and it's a multiplayer, like a massive multiplayer RPG type game. Not sure how I'm going to feel about this. I'm also mad at Anthem because Anthem is what basically destroyed Andromeda, so I'm just kind of like pissed about that because it ruined my whole year last year when it came out, so no big deal. But I think I'll probably still play it, but it won't be a game that I pre-order or anything like that. Like, I will get it probably when it's on sale later, used or something, after I hear about reviews and stuff from a lot of people and get like a full-blown consensus on how it is. But I'll probably still play it because it's a BioWare game and like, still trash. And lastly, since this was a very recent announcement, I do want to talk a little bit about Dragon Age 4. So Dragon Age 4 doesn't even have a release date yet. I wouldn't be talking about this in a video like this usually, but some people did ask me for like my predictions and stuff, and I don't want to do a whole separate video on predictions because these aren't really predictions so much as my own wish list of things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Dragon Age 4 if you're interested, but I wanted to put it in this video so that if anyone isn't interested, they can leave, and the rest of you can keep watching about my Dragon Age 4 tidbits. For those of you that are leaving, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. So Dragon Age 4. They just released the very short teaser of the Dreadwolf Rises hashtag with Solus and the statue. So what are my thoughts and predictions? I don't have predictions because I don't do predictions for games, really. Like, I don't try to overanalyze trailers. Like, I just don't live that life because then it sets me up for failure, because I sort of live that life with Andromeda and look where it got me. So I'm kind of like, avoid as much as possible, even though I avoided a lot of the Andromeda news as well. So I'm just kind of trying to stay out of that whole loop. But there's a few, just so short a list of things that I would like for Dragon Age 4 and that I think could be strong possibilities for Dragon Age 4 potentially, and just like thoughts I have. So just thoughts on the trailer in general. I am just screaming about the fact that the Lyrium idol from 2 is making an appearance. That was the photo that you saw, like that's that symbol. That's the Lyrium idol from 2 if you have played the franchise, which I'm sure you have if you're watching this. So I'm just like personally just kind of like cackling a bit about that because most of the fandom shits on Dragon Age 2, myself included. I did not enjoy it when I played it, but the more time I spend away from it, the more that I like it and the more I sort of defend it. So the fact that there's things that are brought up from Dragon Age 2 a lot in the rest of the franchise just makes me happy, because it's kind of like the creators being like, fuck you, like we had barely time to like make this game, but it's really important. And it kind of reminds me of like Harry Potter and a lot of Deathly Hallows being connected to Chamber of Secrets and stuff, like it gives me those same kind of vibes. So I just really enjoy that like the Lyrium Idol is back in town. That damn idol. But here are my wishes. And some of these might be controversial. One of them might be. The first one is the controversial one, and I want a like pre-existing character. So what I mean by that is kind of like Hawke or like Shepard from Mass Effect. I want a character that is like, you are that character and you don't get to deviate. Like everyone plays as Hawke, everyone plays as Shepard, because I find that these already developed characters feel more real to me as the player. I still get to play them and create them and do what I want with them, but they feel like characters that are fully fleshed out with their own personalities that continue to exist in the world when I'm not playing them. The Warden and the Inquisitor, especially the Warden, but a little bit with the Inquisitor, don't feel as though they're existing when I'm not there, if that makes any sense. So they feel like too much of a blank slate, and I like these characters that feel a little more fleshed out and like they had this life before I jumped in and was like kind of controlling them. You know what I mean? So I really like Hawke and Shepard. I would literally die for, and I don't have that strong of a connection. I love my Inquisitor still, and my first Inquisitor is like my canon Inquisitor, but I still don't have as deep of a connection with her as this character that I like fully created as I do with Hawke and Shepard. So I kind of want them to go back and kind of go every other game kind of to a pre-made sort of character like that that has their own life in the world. Secondly, I want 2 appearances specifically, which again might be surprising because they're not my characters. I'm going to talk about that in a second because I do still want those things. Anyway, so Dorian needs, and I think will make an appearance because the game is going to be in Tevinter. They hinted at that at Trespasser, so I'm like 98% sure it's going to be in Tevinter. That's also my wish list. But I think that's basically a guarantee, so I barely need to talk about that. So, Dorian. I want him to be like, if we do another war room, war table advisor type thing, I want him to at least be an advisor. I would be hype if he was actually on your team, kind of like Varric was like a crossover from 2. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I would love if that happened. Ooh man, would I be excited, because Dorian is my favorite party member from Inquisition. He is my best friend. He is always my Inquisitor's best friend, and I adore him. So I would like him to be a very strong side character, if not a like crew member, which I don't think is going to happen, but whatever. Second character that I have similar thoughts about is Fenris. Fenris is my angry elf husband, and Hawke in Inquisition, if you romanced him, will talk about the fact that he's in Tevinter hunting slavers. So I need him to also be like a strong appearance, not just like a one-off mission, like, again, on your team, which I don't think that would happen because it's been like too long for him, maybe? I don't know. But would like him to be like a part, like a Morrigan that shows up in Inquisition where like you're talking, you can have like a lot of conversations with her, something like that. Those are the 2 characters that I like desperately need to show up. Now, as far as Hawke and the Warden, I feel they also need to show up, or at least be mentioned more than like, we can't find the Warden. Like, if the world's ending because of that damn egg, then Hawke and the Warden need to make an appearance. And I guess that you could argue that like, oh, well, they didn't make an appearance, like, the Warden didn't make an appearance for Corypheus or whatever. But it was hinted that like, there's something going on with that. So, she needs to make an appearance or be discussed more. Both of them need to be discussed more in 4. I don't know if they make an appearance. I'd love if Hawke came back, especially after everything that happened in Inquisition and like she was going to see the Wardens and all that. Like I would like that to happen, but if it doesn't, I just need them to be talked about a bit more than like, we don't know where they are. Like that's weak, and I disagree with that completely. So yeah, as of the announcement clip, those are my hopes, dreams, and wishes for Dragon Age 4. So as a total wrap up of this video, these are all of the games that I'm really excited about, as well as my hopes and dreams for Dragon Age 4. So comment below, let me know if there's any games that I left off this list that you think that I would really enjoy, that you've played. You guys know that I tend to enjoy like fantasy and sci-fi RPGs, story-based driven games, character-driven games, and I'm not like a shooter or a horror fan, like at all. So, don't really recommend those. But if you have other games that you think that I really enjoy, comment below and let me know. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all you guys soon. Bye!